The Chinese government, in one breath, has banned the use of Bitcoin, etc., and other cryptocurrencies. So those which use a decentralized network. But in the same breath, they're saying we're going to support our own. So essentially, one which they control from the central government or the PBOC. So we see this as pretty big news. Essentially, what will be the difference between the two is essentially the anonymity of the investor will be exposed. So essentially, the Chinese government will know who's purchasing their e-yuan currency when that gets put into effect. Coming to your question, I think the Chinese government also sees a second thing here where they see the current Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies being used by speculators. And essentially also, they're not seeing that it would pass, say, anti-money laundering as well. So they're saying that they're not legitimate in terms of currencies. And that's why we think it's really important that the underlying real economy, if there are exchanges to take place, what we'll see in China is one controlled by the Chinese government. So I don't really see it as a surprise, but I think it's a really interesting new event.
As it may, let's talk about your view on the regulatory crackdown for tech as well, because again, this is something we revisit day by day here, and often it's almost as though you paint the whole sector with one broad stroke, but we know it's not that simple. So in light of these concerns, I mean, what does still look attractive to you in the space, if anything?
Yeah, so we've had the benefit that some of the major tech names, such as Baidu, Tencent, Baba, Pinduoduo last night, have actually produced their results. What we've seen from the narrative from management is it's changed. So take Baba, for example, you're going to see really nice revenue growth, but the actual operations growth, I think, is going to be somewhat muted by the fact that they're going to have to continue to spend. Call it a national tech tax. That's the best way I can explain it. You can also see with Tencent, they're going to be spending more money. In fact, they're opening up a social investment scheme. So I think the worst is past in the anti-monopoly trust, and so the fines have happened. But there will be more. I think that the fact is that the data and the data protection, the regulation about data is something still which is not yet completely examined. And I think we're going to see some more fines occurring. So those with the biggest social e-commerce or essentially ecosystems, such as Tencent and Baba again, etc., might get additional fines. But I haven't seen an injunction, and that's the important thing. So the share prices in these names have come off, and I think some of them are producing actually some nice value. There's some intrinsic value there, I think, to tease at these prices because there's negative sentiment against them.